heifer. Don't ever let another heifer think she got one up on me. Well, am I the butthole for asking my fiance to remove his ex, now close friends, from his life?
She's trying to be Marty McFly? There is no way in the world she put a Marty McFly on him.
Look, let me say this. To be honest, I don't understand the concept of staying friends with exes. I find out that a friend he keeps visiting and meeting was actually his ex.
But being close friends with an ex?
Hey y'all, I'm Haley.
And I'm Money. And welcome back to
Beefing with the Blacks. So today we are going to change it up a little bit. Like we told you in our last video that we were starting a new segment. It's called Ask the Blacks. And in this segment, it's where you guys send in your own stories either through DM on Instagram or our email, which we'll make sure it's in the description below, where we answer relationship questions and or advice. But we also are picking some relationship stories off of Reddit because there's some very interesting ones on there. And we found one that we wanted to talk about today.
Not to say we're any relationship guru, but we just giving our opinion based off our perspective and what we believe is true and what we have going on in our relationship.
So definitely take everything with a grain of salt, okay?
Please.
But I'm excited to hop into this one.
Right,
honestly.
You want to read it or you want me to read it? What you want to do?
I'll read it. I skimmed it a little bit just to see. But I'm
gonna listen. I ain't skimmed it. I ain't heard it. I don't know what's going on. Go ahead. Talk to me.
Okay, here we go. Well, am I the butthole for asking my fiance to remove his ex, now close friends, from his life? Yeah.
His what? Okay, just go ahead.
Yeah.
We can.
Okay. I, 23 female, am insecure about my fiance's 30 male being close with his ex. Can I ask him to remove her from his life? If not, what are the boundaries that I can ask or establish? So I've been engaged since May 22 and plan on getting married at the end of December. So they're married now, if this ended the way I think it did. Okay. We are in a long distance relationship. It was an arranged marriage kind of thing, but we both met each other, got to know each other, talked for some time, and then said yes to our families. So when we were talking about our engagement, I asked him if there's anyone in his life at all, because if the answer was yes, and he's being forced by his parents to do this, then I don't want to do it. He said no, there was no one. 6 months into the relationship, I find out that a friend he keeps visiting and meeting was actually his ex. Okay. And he said that things had ended back in 2019. Ever since then, they were really good friends. I became very insecure about it as I found out much later that this girl is his ex, and they were such good friends with each other. I'm like, what do you mean by good friends?
Keep reading, please.
Because how could a friend...
We're going to dissect, but just keep going.
To be honest, I don't understand the concept of staying friends with exes, but as much as I've read on Reddit and other places, it's kind of a common thing. Very good buddies is just what I've heard. So I've told my fiance I don't like it, and they are very close. And honestly, I used to get kind of insecure and upset whenever he met her or went out with her. And then eventually we would fight, and I would tell him how he hid things from me, and I didn't like it. So he told me that he won't see her as much anymore.
Pause. Insecure or upset? I don't even know if this is an insecurity. We talking about not getting back, I'm sorry, but being close friends with an ex?
I don't think that has to do with insecurity, to be quite honest with you, because I just don't think it's appropriate.
Like, it's one thing to see him out and say, hey, and bye, whatever. How you doing when you see him? But to go and see them regularly?
I will say...
One-on-one? No, not one-on-one. Well, they in friend groups. They in a whole group setting. They have to be. And even if they are in a whole group setting, it's still kind of weird that you're going without your now fiance.
But that's not the scenario that was given, though.
Go ahead.
But hold on, I will say this. Some people are able to be friends with exes and it not be an issue, especially if we're talking about like a co-parenting scenario.
True.
This is not that scenario.
No, it's not.
But a lot of people kind of welcome that, because I know some people who are like friends with their ex and the person that they're dating is cool with that too.
Wait, they welcome what?
You don't know who I'm talking about, but you know this person. They are friends with their ex, and their spouse is also cool with the ex. To the point to where when things may go awry, this person still talks to their ex like they're best buddies.
So they telling them, keep going.
Look, it
I
worked.
told you about the male best friend. Wait, we're gonna finish up.
Okay. But yesterday I saw some chats and things and found out that he has been texting her and going out to, but has been hiding it from me. I asked him about it and he said he did it to avoid conflict. And that's because they're good friends from before I came into his life, and he's known her since 2017, 2018. He can't just simply remove her from his life.
When you put me in there, you removed her. Simple as that. If you want her to continue to be in your life, then you should have never even came and messed with me.
Okay. I'm extremely disturbed finding out that he hid things from me. And I also know that if I had hidden such things from him, he would be mad too. Just because he's the one that did it, he's downplaying it. I've asked him to give me some time to clear my thoughts. Please suggest what should I do? Can I ask, or should I ask him to remove her? Okay, so it sounds like she's already asked that though.
Well, first off, if she did ask, I feel like it's valid because he hid it from her for so long and said that this was just a close friend, not saying that, like, first off, even if you did present it as an ex at first, I still would be like, no, you can't, I don't feel comfortable with you doing that. Mm-hmm. But it makes it that much worse that you hid it from me, and then I found out, and then I asked you, and you still don't want. Now it makes me feel like y'all got something going on, and it ain't just a friendship from 2017, 2018. It sounds like some type of other ship, and it ain't friend in front of it. Whatever ship y'all sailing, it ain't the right ship. That's what I'm saying.
Well, here, let me say this too, though. Another thing that's a little bit concerning is, especially, and I have friends who live within a community or a culture that, to a certain degree, marriages are arranged. I have a few friends that live within those types of cultures. And typically what happens is the males will date knowing that they cannot marry that person, but they'll still date. And in some scenarios, or most of the scenarios that I know of my friends, they've cut that person completely off at the point in time that they get married.
That's how it's supposed to be.
But it sounds like this person is really, he wanted to be with his ex.
He wanted to marry her.
But because of the family that he comes from, and this is all speculation, depending on different cultures or whatever, because it doesn't specify what their background is. However, it sounds like he wants to be with the ex, but because of his culture, family, or whatever, and the expectations that they have, he's doing what he thinks is his duty, or whatever the case may be.
What Fantasia say, y'all? If you don't want me, then don't. Go ahead and free yourself. Whatever it is, go ahead and free it. Let me read the rest of it, because I got you.
Okay.
So please suggest what I should do. Can I or should I ask him to remove that friend from his life, or else I won't be able to move forward, as this is the second time I have found out that he had been lying. It's very difficult to now trust, and I'm very insecure and anxious every time he is around her. And now I fear that he might be hiding and meeting just because we are in a long distance relationship. It's getting juicy. Hang on. And now 5 minutes of him not answering makes me go into these thoughts. I don't think he will remove her, I guess you meant from his life, which is another thing that makes me anxious. That's why she is so important that he has to lie and hide from me and then see her. Just why? Is it possible to be such close friends with exes? Is it necessary? What should I do here? Now I just feel like he could always be lying. If not removing, then what boundaries should be established both while texting and meeting? I think the kind of reels she shares and things she says can be inappropriate. Like she had sent a reel of a celebrity couple giving neck kisses. My fiancé said it was just to show they're dating, but I don't agree. That's crazy. Wait a minute. But I don't agree to that. And there was no context to it. Also just that reel sent. So no context, just a reel. And one where she shared an old pic of them and had written, "Wish we could go back in time." I don't know. Okay. I don't know if it's friends or what. Why would she write that? She trying to be Marty McFly? There is no way in the world she put a Marty McFly on him.
Look, let me say this. So to answer her question, do you think exes could be friends? Is it necessary? I don't think it's necessary, but I know that it is possible. And I think the type of relationship that you have with that ex and the relationship that you have with your current spouse is what really determines if that's something that is or is not appropriate. So let me say that, right? Because again, you have to acknowledge co-parenting situations and things of that nature. Now, the necessary part, if you are a co-parent, then it's necessary. If you are not a co-parent, it is not necessary. And some co-parents would argue that it's not necessary to really fool with them that much either. If y'all,
this guy juicy.
If y'all can do pick up and drop off smooth, I wouldn't continue in that relationship. If we're having those type of issues and you're keeping that type of secret from me. So I'm somebody, and I've always said this, right? I know that some people are able to forgive cheating. Okay. And I truly do believe that cheaters can become good people and they can completely be reformed, so on and so forth. Like I cannot claim to know God and love him and know that I can be redeemed and say that once a cheater, always a cheater. Okay. That's completely hypocritical and contradictory. But however, me knowing who I am as a person, if you do things that show me I cannot trust you, the trust is going to be dead. It's like a credit score. Once it goes down, it's hard to get back up. No, what's worse is a GPA. Once that thing is plummeted, you're not getting back to a 4.0. And that's going to be toxic for our relationship, because at that point in time, you going to look at me like you sick and tired of me because I'm questioning everything that you do. So I'm not healthy for the relationship anymore, and low key we should just break up. So I wouldn't stay in that situation. I'm
telling you now, I ain't ignoring those signs. And that's a big, what y'all be saying now, that's a red flag. What is asked? Is she the what? No. Whatever you asking if you is, you ain't it. It's him.
You are not the butthole.
You are not the butthole. There's no way possible that anybody could ever think you were for having him. Wait a minute, y'all in a long distance relationship. He closer to his ex and he sees her. They go out and he see her one-on-one. And then sometimes he may not answer the phone. I would think the same thing. I don't care if he does actually have something going on. I'm going to tell you now, as soon as they don't answer that phone, I'm going to think the worst, because you've already been lying and been saying that this was just a best friend. And now I find out that it's an ex. So as soon as you tell me, or as soon as I call you or text you and you're not answering as quick as you usually do, I'm going to assume the worst.
And also think about this. They're just months away from being married.
No, we ain't.
Do I want to be married to somebody that is already lying to me so much about, like, especially because it's no secret, like I said at the beginning, if this is the same type of cultural background of the individuals that I have a relationship with, it's no secret that that's a thing that happens in getting in those relationships, and sometimes there's strong attachments, right? So if that is that type of scenario, I cannot wrap my head around becoming your wife if I can't trust you, if I can't have that foundation and be able to say, you know, this is not my husband, this is not something he would do, whatever, but you're already lying to me about another woman. Like, that part, I can't wrap my head around it. I wouldn't be able to do it. And this is not me saying, I'm not somebody that's quick to be like, oh, just leave the relationship. But I am saying, once you see signs and red flags showing that somebody is not trustworthy, believe them. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
Please.
And another thing is, marriage, and I always say this, marriage and babies will amplify the issue that you already have. Please do not get married if you already have issues and you think marriage is going to fix it. No. Please do not have a baby thinking that it's going to fix the problems that you already have, because that is not going to be the case to any degree whatsoever. Okay? But yeah, so I'd say they are not the butthole.
No.
And she need to bounce.
Yes, and if you haven't, or it could even be a thing of, with you being the wife and that being a friend, if you feel uncomfortable, he should be willing to make that compromise, that sacrifice in y'all's relationship, to where he is taking a step back from his and her relationship to heighten yours and his relationship. And if he's not, then like Haley said, y'all shouldn't be getting married in the first place. Because if you're not willing to compromise for your marriage, but you are for your friendship, y'all don't need to be together. Go ahead and nip that in the bud.
And I would also think that your friend is always going to come before me.
Right. Especially if you spending all this one-on-one time. Hey, babe, I'll be back. I'm going to spend time with Rachel. Huh? You going to spend
time? Hold on. What kind of name?
I don't know. I just said a name. Whoever the friend name is.
Another thing that I will say is don't ever let another heifer think she got one up on me.
And that is 10.
I'm telling you right now, if if you ever let another whole thing, she got one up on me, like that's something else I can't get. I'm not gonna be cool with it. No way, shape, or form. Like and they know that they're number one because he not gonna cut me off. It don't matter if you got the ring. It don't matter if y'all get married. If you don't, it don't matter if y'all have this baby. He ain't never gonna cut me off. I cannot be one of those people. No. He know where home is.
No, I couldn't be one of those people being disrespected by a best friend, because some of those best friends be in those relationships with their friends and they be like, well, they'll just leave you before they stop being cool with me, or feel like that they always have to be in on what y'all are doing or whatever is going on.
Those best friends get bold. Some of them get real. Well, if you don't like me, then he's not going to stay in a relationship.
Right.
With you. If you don't figure this out and make this work,
we ain't standing for it. But as we said before, you are not the butthole, and you guys need to do something to strengthen your marriage and stop letting him strengthen his relationship with his ex, who is now his best friend. Because what it seems like is they're going to strengthen their relationship too much and going to get back to whatever they was wanting to get back to. Because who sends comments like, what'd she say? Wish I could go back in time?
Oh, yeah, no.
That is just way too far. And that's
he's not shutting it down.
Right.
I'm going to be honest with you. I would bounce. Being that y'all not married yet, I would 1,000% bounce. If y'all were married and this was happening, my advice would be to go to counseling.
Right.
But that's not the case. Before you have to go through that, to go ahead and skedaddle.
But if you do want to stay, go through counseling.
Yeah.
Please go to counseling. Y'all talk it out with somebody who is a mutual party, or just somebody
An unbiased third party.
Unbiased third party.
Preferably that know the Lord.
Preferably not the best friend. But you are not the butthole in this situation. But I like that. That was all right there.
Yeah, that wraps it up, man. Gotta be the quickest one yet, G.
Right. Until next time, this is
Beefing with the Blacks.